Okay, so real-world data can be modeled by a linear equation if there is a constant rate of change. The rate of change represents the slope, and the y-intercept is the point where the value of the independent variable is 0. So let's check out this problem. In 1997, about 2.6 million girls competed in high school sports. The number of girls competing in high school sports has increased by an average of 0.06 million per year since 1997. Okay, so use the information at the left about high school sports, write in an equation, a linear equation, to find the number of girls in high school sports after 1997. So in words, the number of girls competing equals the rate of change, so 0.06, times the number of years, which would be however many years, plus the amount at the start. Well, at the beginning of when they started doing this, it was 2.6. So G represents the number of girls. It's 0.06 times N for number of years plus 2.6. Second, we want to graph the equation. So the y-intercept is 2.6. So the graph passes through 0, 2.6, and the rate of change is the slope. So the slope is 0.06. So if you looked at the graph, you would start at 2.6, and then really what you're going to do to graph 0.06, just think of it as 0.06 over 1. I know earlier in the previous video I said don't work with decimals, but here they gave it to you as a decimal. There's not really anything you can do about it. I guess you could write it as 6 over 100, but it's really going to, because it's 6/100ths, it's going to be really hard to write, to go up 6 and then over 100. Okay, so if you just estimate, go up 0.06 rather, and then over 1, this is what the graph would look like. And in reality, I'm not really going to give you a problem where you have to do it this fine-tuned here. Okay? All right, estimate the number of girls competing in 2017. So be careful with this one. The year 2017, you wouldn't plug 2017 in, you wouldn't plug 17. You have to plug how many years after the starting point it is. Well, if we started in 97 and we're talking about 2017, that's 20 years later. So take your equation, plug in 20, and simplify, you get 3.8. Now the answer is not just 3.8, it's 3.8 million girls competing in high school sports, okay, because the numbers are given in millions. Alrighty, so the Band Boosters are selling sandwiches for $5 each. They bought 160 in ingredients. Write an equation for the profit made on N sandwiches. Okay, so the rate is $5 per sandwich. So P would equal $5 times the number of sandwiches. I'm going to use B for the band instead of S, because my S's look like 5s, my 5s look like S's. Now, if they want to know the amount of profit, the 1,160 is not profit. What is it? It's actually an expense. It's money they had to already pay out. So they have to actually earn that money back first before they start to make a profit. So however much they make selling sandwiches, they have to subtract the 1,160 off of that. Okay, so that's our equation. If you were to graph it, you'd have to go all the way down to negative 1,160, put a point, and then you'd have to go up 5 over 1, up 5 over 1, up 5 over 1, up 5, and you would have a line like this. Okay, find the total profit if 1,400 sandwiches are sold. So remember, B represents the number of sandwiches the band sells, so you would have P equals 5 times 1,400 minus 1,160. So 5 times 1,400 is 7,000 minus 1,160, which would give you 5,840. And in this context, it's profit, so it stands for money. So they would make $5,840. Alrighty. All right, guys, that's it for section 1. Please continue on your assignment. And as always, reach out to me if you have any questions. Take care.